Asgard here, and it's time to talk about Lord of Mysteries. And this episode had me going back and forth between, I'm like, damn, what the fuck is going on here? And damn, I wanna be involved into what is going on here. I'm like, okay, but things are definitely ramping up. And what is going on with DUNN? The way this episode ended, I'm like, give me the next episode. We can't have it end like that. But holy hell, they went hard on some of the scenes with Sharon, and the pleasure was present. But going from the start of the episode to that, oh, okay, interesting. So let's get into it and talk about it. Now, the first scene instantly starts with cannibalism, and like, okay, sure, makes sense with the world here. I'm like, he looks similar with DUNN in a way from the back there. We don't fully see the context of the scene until towards the end of the episode. We're gonna get to that. But when I was first watching the episode, I'm like, okay, cannibalism, it seems we're gonna see something, how this happened. But then the instant transition to something I actually wanna eat. We see Sharon in a scene, and holy hell, she's hot. Like that scene, I'm like, okay, guys, I didn't plan on being this horny in the morning, but also starting from cannibalism to hot bath scene, I'm like, okay, you have two things you want to eat in front of you. Which choice do you take? Which door do you pick? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe, guys. I see you guys watching the videos, but a lot of you aren't subscribed, so subscribe for that bath scene. Don't do it for cannibalism. Be honest, do it for Sharon there. But yeah, that was an interesting transition there, and again, goddamn, Sharon is hot here, and we'll also get more action towards the middle of the episode. We're gonna get into that, but we finally find out more about Sharon, and we see how she's actually working. We get the meeting in Parliament there, talking about the murder of the mayor there, and yeah, she's a suspect. Everybody's screaming for her name, or at least some of them are screaming, and it's revealed she has this voodoo doll with the name Dennis. And look and behold, Dennis is the mayor. So she's controlling the mayor there. And even the wife of the guy that got killed, Maynard there. Remember when she slapped her here? And she's playing everybody. She's covering up this entire murder incident. The mayor saying, oh, he just died of a heart problem. Relax, guys. It's fine. Everybody screaming in the background. Go after Sharon. Execute her. Go after her. But no, it's fine. Nothing happened. And we have politics starting here. And apparently she's pushing the mayor, or talking through the mayor. It seems like she has full control over him about the issue. Let's make Tingen great again. Basically, that's the feeling I got from that there. Make a conservative part. It's revealed later on in the episode they want new order for the city or the world. So don't fully know what exactly that entails, but it's curious here. So slowly getting a bit of glimpses into this master plan. I don't know, maybe the mastermind got revealed this episode, but you can never know. Could be somebody else behind her also. We're gonna get to her in that scene. But yeah, Sharon basically has control over the city with the mayor and pushing for political reforms here. And after that, we see Klein following her after everything with how the episode started with a strand of her hair, which was kind of convenient that he managed to get the strand of hair. And at the same time, DUNN was also inspecting her house. We know from last episode they started investigating her, so they split up a bit. And while Klein was chasing after her, DUNN finds a safe there, finds a picture of Sharon and trees, and apparently drugs were also being used at the house. And the safe is more suspicious than ever. We're gonna get back to that. And the house also. Like, that house has some secrets, to say the least. But while DUNN was investigating the house, I like them being split up a bit and showing how much more Klein has gotten up in the organization, and his relationship with the others being trusted with something like this, considering everything that has happened. And I'm happy to see DUNN more and more, but after this episode I'm questioning that, and we're gonna get towards the end of the episode talk a bit more about that. But Klein loses Sharon and he tries to use the divination to chase after her, but she's able to interfere with it thanks to her hair, or how her power works, probably related to her hair. I don't think she's the one that has been interfering with all of his divination. She seems like she's just able to do something like that, which probably the mastermind was also interfering with it. And we finally see somebody that is probably the mastermind. Not fully sure about this, but she definitely seems like this. They're part of the demoness sect, of course. She meets with this other hot woman again, and we all know they're men, but fuck it, they're hot, so who cares? Wait, don't take that out of context. But anyway, I stand by what I said. And she definitely likes this vibe of despair the city has been having for a while, and we see the reveal of Sharon being sequence 6, pleasure madam of the demoness sect. And I like the play on words they did between them there. They understand men much better than everybody else, considering they were previous men, and they also understand women now that they've become women, so they have an interesting perspective. But this seems to be more like a master-slave relationship. Sharon started kissing her feet, and yeah, totally understandable. There another scene like that. I'm like, where this is going? I'm liking this. We're going for it. But then she gets kicked. Seems like, yeah, it's not really love, let me put it that way. And she gets blamed for the Maynard incident, him dying. She kind of lost a bit control over her powers here. And the threat there saying that no more incidents will affect her infiltration of the kingdom. So is this the mastermind, the master plan? They're trying to take over the kingdom here? Why? What exactly they're trying to achieve by taking over the kingdom? And the reveal, she's a saintess of white. So that's her classification. You don't get her name, and like, okay, I'm starting to pray there. She's hot. Yes, ma'am, of course. But then saintess my ass. She reveals like she has some demons, soul-sucking ghouls, whatever, under her feet, and threatens Sharon, if you fuck up more, I'm gonna take you under more training. Let's revise your attitude, basically. I'm like, okay, what is going on with this demoness sect here? Like, we're kind of escalating, and it's kind of interesting showing that Sharon is Second 6, which should be pretty powerful, but she's kind of a slave to this Saintess of White. How much powerful is this Saintess of White? And maybe I was even correct how much the difference between sequences is the lower you get down there. Like, somebody probably like a 4 is tremendously more powerful than somebody like a 6, and can even imagine what somebody at sequence 1 would be on the power scale wise. But yeah, this episode, hot women are dangerous. Like, damn, holy hell, I'll still go for it. Why not? But not confirmed she's the mastermind. I'm getting those vibes, but like I said, you never know if there's somebody else more behind her. Imagine this Saintess of White even bowing down to somebody else. I wouldn't be surprised that at this point. But we see again the feathers, and I do hope they're gonna explain what these feathers mean. Everywhere they show up every single time. I really hope somebody made the countdown how many feathers have been showing up so far here. But while that was happening, also have Klein going to investigate Sharon's place at her house, and he finds a picture of her when she used to be a man, like Tree, so they're making the connection more and more, demoness sect and so on. Their suspicions are being confirmed, and he looks in the safe also, and he finds a secret passageway, and that room there is like, that's a crypt, my dude. I'm sorry, but that's not a room. You don't go into that room to sit down and relax. Well, she probably does, considering her hobbies, but it's full of bodies, webs, dolls. That gave me the vibes of a Black Widow, like a killer succubus or of some sort. That's the power I'm getting for this pleasure madam that Sharon is. I'm sure most of you would accept that, the way she's controlling people through pleasure. Even that mayor guy, he was willing to do anything and everything. When he got that kiss in the carriage after the meeting, like, poor dude was probably in heaven there. So yeah, she's using sex and pleasure to control everybody here, but he almost gets caught thanks to the statue, kind of like an alarm here. The statue put in a lot of work this episode, the primordial demoness there. She looks behind the curtains where Klein was, well, she almost looks, but the cat saves him at the last moment, but then she decides to look again, and that's when the episode cuts a bit, like, damn, did he actually get caught? And then time rewinds. Like, okay, where are we going with this? Did the god step in? Did the fog step in? What's happening? Are we having time rewind things? Hey, are we doing ReZero or something? Did he die and somehow get rewound back to a point where he doesn't have to repeat this? Was it a precognition? Did he see the events happening before and like, hey, I'm not gonna do this, this is where it ends up? But no, it's just a typical, hey, let's look at the previous events. It's not actually time rewinding. I'm like, okay, let's see how he got up to that point, in case everybody was wondering there here. And we see an hour earlier with Klein trying to summon a messenger, how he got the instructions from Dali, and he's using his own prayer for the fool to summon himself. And like, hey, that's interesting, it works, but he also has to go himself into the gray fog to answer his own prayer. This seems like a cheat code. This is okay, pay to win much to say the least. And he's able to summon a copy of him, and also having the powers of the gray fog and a bit of the sun here. And the copy was behind the curtain, not actually him, so that's why Sharon wasn't able to fully see him, even though she felt something was happening. Even later in the episode she said she sensed the smell or something snooping around, and even knowing she was being chased. But yeah, that wasn't actually Klein in his own body, of just the messenger slash copy of him being summoned here. So no time rewinding powers, at least not so far there. But after this we see Klein telling DUNN everything he found out, the demoness sect, the primordial demoness, the statue, all of the connections. So they decide to go after Sharon, and here is where the episode looks probably the coolest. They request an artifact and actually go into the Chinese gate, and goddamn, that gate, the inside of it looks cool. You have this keeper monk dude inside asking for paperwork for the request to get the artifact. That looks like a giant vault for sealing artifacts and everything. I'm imagining how many things are inside there, but it looked really cool. Probably one of the coolest places in the entire series so far. And I hope they expand more on the Forsaken Lands that we saw last episode also, maybe when we get to that point here. But yeah, the Chinese gate vault looks great here, and depending how many artifacts, it seems like they have one for each situation here. The one they get now is Spirit Medium Mirror, and it reflects things. It's very dangerous, especially your own reflection. It's gonna fuck you up, and that's is gonna play an important role here, even having to be careful around themselves, not to point it at each other. So very dangerous artifact, but it's also like a natural enemy of demoness sect here. So with that artifact they decide to go after Sharon, and DUNN using his nightmare, revealing that he's able to control it more and more, even Klein making that comment, but doesn't really work out. Thanks to that primordial statues, it was near Sharon. She doesn't really get put into the nightmare here. DUNN doesn't realize it instantly, which kind of messes up their plans there. They turns into a fight. DUNN tries to restrain her. The mirror reflection doesn't really work because she was already using illusions, like we saw with the witch before the fight that we have. She's even able to use the roasting, the curse that we have through the fight. The fight between them was actually awesome, seeing the back and forth. We now being able to understand a bit more of the powers, the concept, the explanation that you got, even knowing what the artifact does. Klein also his powers and even being a bit stronger himself. Seeing DUNN also being so involved here, her using substitution to keep changing her positions and illusion, and she's even able to trick Kenley, the guy that was with Klein there, kind of self-reflect with the artifact here, and she's able to catch Klein, but is able to break free using the cards and the slumber spell. The Grey Fog also helping him to break free, but she was still using illusion. She was pretty much still in control over the fight. They are the underdogs, to say the least. And Klein is able to shoot the statue and realizes that by shooting that statue is connected to Sharon, and she's taking damage thanks to that. But she gets angry. She's even able to use ice spells like we saw, and she's able to freeze Klein, a bit half of him here. And that's where in middle of the fight she reveals a bit her plan. She tries to take control over Klein to make him submit to her, saying they want to return the continent to the rightful order. Now, what they fully mean by that, we don't fully know the goal and how they're trying to achieve this, by not just by taking over the kingdom here. And I think Klein was about to summon the big skelly, the whistle that he had from Attic, but gets interrupted because DUNN shows up, and I like how he's able to use the Sandman, how he called it, those vibrating gates thing, kind of make Sharon to go on the defensive, put herself into a cocoon, a spider cocoon there, and we see the Sharon versus DUNN fight. It's actually pretty close until he gets stabbed with the blood curse, the rose. He's able to stop it with night purification, and you can fully understand a bit more of the fights right now, going back and forth. Like I said, it's actually much better, honestly, than the clown fight that we had at the start of the episode, that they really rushed getting to it. If you had the same fight probably at the start of the episode, I wouldn't understood as much from it here. And I'm sure I'm missing a lot of things. I'm also speedrunning a bit through it, not breaking down every element of the fight. The videos with Lord of Mysteries are probably already way too long here. But I do hope you guys enjoyed them. I actually really like talking about Lord of Mysteries, even though I get things wrong here. And probably gonna rewatch it when we get finished with it. And I don't know if I'm gonna read the original source material, we'll see with that, but I know we're gonna get more seasons after this. We're gonna talk more with aspects and overall the series when the final episodes air, and I know the episodes have been leaked, but I'm waiting week to week to watch them and also do the videos. But anyway, back to the fight, the DUNN versus Sharon fight here. He stops the curse with night purification, and Klein uses his powers, the precognitions from the clown, to predict where Sharon is going to move, and tosses the mirror in front of her and starts shooting the statue at the same time. And the mirror reflection goes after her, and yeah, they kill her. Klein shoots her also, and they're able to defeat Sharon. And Klein was pretty much in flight or fight response there, in shock after that. DUNN is able to calm him down, and now that Sharon is dead, the control also breaks. Everybody is free here, but unfortunately they lost Kenley, and they start blaming themselves for it. I could have done this better and so on, but yeah, hindsight is always 2020. If you didn't do this, maybe things would have turned out even worse. You never know, especially going against somebody like Sequence 6, and also having that buff with the Demoness statue here. So it's always easy to look back if I would have done this and that, reflecting on things. No pun intended, referring to the mirror. But what curious thing happened was right after this, DUNN's eyes start glowing. I'm like, wait, isn't she actually dead? Did DUNN get taken over? Is it because of the mirror? What's happening here? Wait, why is DUNN suspicious right now? And then it cuts back to the first scene that we see in the episode, the cannibalism, and we see it from Klein's perspective a bit more fully this time, and he says, hey, I finished cleaning downstairs, and then he walks back into the room where the fight happens, and you see DUNN eating Kenley. I'm like, wait a fucking minute, what is going on here, DUNN? What the fuck are you doing? Are you working for the were you a traitor this entire time? What's going on? Why are you eating Ken? Like, he's just your comrade, you're feeling guilty. Are you being taken over by something? What is happening? Why is DUNN doing this? And okay, things got a lot more interesting, and I'm like, what is the next episode? I almost wanted to watch the leaked episode, but I'm gonna wait. DUNN, what the fuck are you doing? That's the main question. This is an insane cliffhanger to end it. Probably the most insane cliffhanger that we have had so far in the series, but it definitely does make things a lot more interesting and makes you question everything looking back. What the fuck has DUNN been doing? Has he been playing the good guy so far, even taking care of Klein of everybody in the organization? Did he actually care about them? Was he pretending? Is he being taken over by something right now under influence? Is somebody else pretending to be DUNN? And I don't know. Like, there's so many things going through my mind right now with what DUNN is doing, but I didn't expect him to eat Kenley. And like, okay, damn. Sure, let's end it on that, and fuck you for giving me this cliffhanger here. But please don't go into spoilers, don't answer any of my questions. I'm gonna wait for the next episode, and we're gonna have to wait and see what's going on with that. Also have the Forsaken land, also Derek, and so many other things to look over. I think all of them heading probably to the same location. Like, there's a build-up with this Doomsday, the town, the Demon Sect, the Aurora Order, and everything else involved. I'm really hoping the payoff is gonna be worth it. I think we have like 2 more episodes worth of season 1 here, so I'm curious where this is gonna go. But yeah, really good episode with this one. I feel like the last couple of episodes have been great here, bringing the series more up to its own pacing and finding its groove here. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Lord of Mysteries. I'm gonna see you here again next week. Make sure you're subscribed, guys. I'm trying to grow the channel a bit more. Sorry if I keep repeating myself, but I'm putting a lot of time, effort into all of the series, the special videos, also the episode reviews and things here. And I do hope you guys enjoyed them. And I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Bye bye.